flight schools have been doing a bad job of marketing, we want to save them from that and help them do a good job and make money.
You've spent your money to acquire a lead of someone who's interested, but because there's no back-end system, you're just scrambling to find out who is a solid lead, who's ready to go now, and that's the problem that we solve.
If you don't do marketing for a while, because of the nature of a flight school, you onboard 3 students in a month. You actually offboard 3 students in a month.
I developed a system for the flight school I was training at, and my very first outreach to test the market. AI and conversations and automation will be common practice in every business, and businesses that don't have it will not be able to compete. From a flight school owner's perspective, in the market right now, what would be the steps you'd take knowing the services that we're offering?
There's so many good things that I would do.
All right, so Michael, how did we end up here?
Oh my goodness, it's been fun. Well, I had a flight school, right? Back in 2020, I bought a flight school with 2 instructors, 1 base, basically 2 guys working out of a tin shed, right, with 2 PA-28s. And I grew it from that to a dozen employees and 3 bases and 15 aircraft. And how did I do that? Well, with you.
With me, a random student pilot from Sydney who developed co-pilot software from seeing a need in the market where my flight school was a great flight school, but just didn't have any idea on how to attract new students and the right students. So yeah.
I've got a story for you. I don't know if you know this story. So,
I've got one you don't know, so we'll talk about that after.
All right, so I'm sitting there at the desk, right, in Murray Bridge, this tin shed at the desk. It's raining outside, and it's like a 200-foot overcast. And I'm looking at all the airplanes sitting there. Obviously, there's no instructors because they cancelled all their flying for the day. And I'm looking at those airplanes, and I'm looking at the blank spots in the schedule, and I'm going, oh my God, how am I going to pay the bills this month with all these blank spots in the schedule, right? And so then I get this email. Email pops up, bring, you know how Outlook does. I'm sitting there despairing. It's freezing cold. I've got the heater on flat out behind me. And this email pops up, and it's like, Michael, do you want more students? I was like, actually, yes, I do. And I emailed you back within 30 seconds, saying, yes, Tom, I'm interested. Tell me more.
Yeah.
And that's how it all started.
Yeah.
We had a meeting, right?
Oh, that's funny.
I remember it very clearly.
The story that I'm about to tell you relates directly to that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you know this or not, so this is like breaking news. But basically, I developed a system for the flight school I was training at, and my very first outreach to test the market was an email to about 10 Australian flight schools.
And I was one of them.
And he was the first customer.
Yes.
So Michael was actually my very first customer. And do you know that?
No, I didn't know that. No, I had no idea.
I thought I'd keep that in the bank for this episode because, yeah, at that time, to be honest, I was winging it a little bit, but I had a system that I knew worked for my current flight school, and I was testing the market. And then the story continued from there. So how does that link to us today? So now Michael's a co-founder. I'm the original founder. We both separated. So you actually sold your flight school after working with us.
I did, yeah, 2024, mid-2024. Grew it, got it to a point where it was stable, and then sold it. And yeah, we didn't work together for about 6 months, I think.
Yep.
And then you called me asking for a referral. So can you speak to some of my current or prospective customers? I was like, yeah, no worries. And I spoke to 2 or 3.
Yep.
And then I was like, this is pretty good. And then you made an offhand reference to, hey, you should just invest in the company and we'll grow it together. And I was like, yep.
Sold.
Okay.
I think, yeah, because you had, on top of your experience with the flight school, before that, which I didn't realize, you were actually in sales for Zoom. So we do a lot of our meetings over Zoom, working with clients in the US. But Michael had this exact skill set that aligned with the growth of the business and came on board and was just all in on, I'll handle the sales calls, I'll jump on Zoom, I know exactly how it works. And he can talk to our prospective customers with the knowledge that he has from running his own flight school and using Copilot to grow the revenue to a point of selling it. So I think with business partnerships, you hear a lot of bad stories about, partners joining and it just being the wrong fit and one wanting to go one way and one going the other and it falling all apart. But this was something that was totally organic, not even really expected, but like Michael said, we got back in contact after Michael had sold his flight school 6 to 8 months later, and the ball rolled and it just all stacked up and made sense. And that brings us to month 2 that we're working together at the moment.
Oh my God, it's only been 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months ago. But the combination of having both of us bouncing ideas and growing the business together has just taken the trajectory to, who knows where it's going to go.
And it's a perfect blend, right? Because you've got that marketing experience and you've been running businesses since you were like 16. I feel like 6. And I've been...
I was selling mandarins on my street from the tree out the back of my house.
That's awesome.
The sympathy where people drive past and see little kids with a table out the front. It's like, have I got any change in the car? I'm going to go buy some stuff. Like a whole giant bag of mandarins for $2 or something. So
now the kids have to have Stripe, right?
That's where it started.
Yeah. Square.
I've automated it.
Yeah, automated the outreach. You got to find it for it. So we had you, right? You've got the marketing experience and the business experience, and then I was exposed to software as a service and startups when I was 21. I worked in a government department. And government round peg square hole didn't work. 18 months, that was enough. But I'd had a background in small business. My dad ran 2 businesses concurrently. And then I went to uni and got exposed to the world of software as a service and startups. I was like, I want to be in software as a service and I want to be in startups. So I did a 15-year career. I worked at a Adelaide tech startup that we took to the States, lived in Denver, Colorado for 5 years, grew that, became the sort of key guy over there, and then moved across to Zoom and did sales and watched the hyper growth of that company from, we were like 250 mil in sales, and then we got to $1 billion in sales while I was there, which was just insane. And I loved that experience. And then I knew I wanted to be back in a small business again, but I took the time off. I left Zoom and I knew I had an itch I wanted to scratch with flying. So I quit the tech career. I got to the top, I got to enterprise sales. Yeah. Making good coin, quit that, bought the flying school, did my CPL, then instructor rating, then instrument rating, so on and so forth. And enjoyed it, but I got to a point where I could go to the airlines, but I would have had to move overseas and leave the family. And I could have taken them with me, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to be back in tech, and so I was fishing around and searching around, and that's when you called me. And once again, you called me at exactly the right time. And now I'm back in tech again, which is exactly where I want to be. So I sort of divide my time between doing tech sales and I still instruct mostly serious guys who own their own aircraft. So it's a great balance.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I think similar story. I think during my flight training and developing Copilot software came off the back of one, seeing the need that I spoke about, but also, as we all know, the commercial pilot journey, the first jobs that you get from achieving your commercial ratings and being employable don't pay the best. So I've got 3 children and a family to support, and off the back of seeing the gap in the market, I knew that if I could just build something that brought in a little bit more revenue so that I could still build my hours in my first commercial jobs and earn enough to support the family, that was the initial goal. And when I sent those original emails out, the goal instantly changed, because the product to market fit, the impact that we could have on flight schools, not only in Australia, but now globally, just made sense. And I took what a lot of people would see as a giant risk at that point of a flight training journey, and to just divert where I was going with my career. And I think it's paid off enough now to see that the market globally is there and that we can help flight schools all over the world. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for me, it was a natural fit. So the unique experience that I've had is I'm now selling the software and helping people who were me. It's so easy for me to write emails that resonate with the flight school owners that we're trying to target, because I was that guy, right? Not only 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I was in the flight school for 4 years, and I know exactly why the product market fit is so good. It's because flight school owners, by and large, are wearing 6 different hats, right? We're HR, we're scheduling, we're ops, we're safety, we are compliance. We do all these different things. And whilst it's reasonably easy to switch between those hats, it's very difficult to do one thing consistently well. And if marketing is that thing you must be doing consistently all the time. If you don't do marketing for a while, because of the nature of a flight school, you onboard 3 students in a month. You actually offboard 3 students in a month. So if you want to grow, because they finish their ratings and they go, right? They go on to their job or whatever. You have to onboard 6 customers every month if you offboard 3 in order to grow. And for that, you need a consistently effective marketing engine, which I was doing a very bad job of before you came around. Before you offered.
So a lot of schools will be on that roller coaster of they will do something for marketing, they will get some customers, and then they will divert their attention to training those students and providing the service, and the marketing just falls off. And then there's this life cycle of roller coaster.
Boom and bust, boom and bust, boom and bust.
And like you said, there's no way to grow when it's not consistent. So
it doesn't work, and it's so frustrating because you get the marketing right, take your eye off the ball, and 3 months later you get no students.
I think another point of even just being in the market and chatting to flight school owners and building this community through all of the clients that we work with is that it opens us up to other avenues to help flight schools, not just directly from us making money from flight schools, but connecting with leasing companies to help flight schools grow, to match our marketing and refer to them, where there's this collaborative effect of just being one portion of a flight school system, gets new students in, helps with that side of the marketing, but then connecting with all of these other avenues. And that's been really insightful, especially since we've started moving into the US market. The collaboration and the discussions we're having are just amazing. So it's exciting.
And for me, it started with the US market, right? I came on board selling into the US, and it's something that I love doing, having lived in the US for 5 years. I love selling in the States because everybody in the States is willing to give you a fair go. Doesn't matter what your accent is. I had a customer say to me the other day, he goes, I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care if you work in your sweatpants. I just want this to work. Okay. And he trusted me, and he handed over the dollars, and we had a good result from it. I think he was the one who booked 5 discovery flights in the first hour of the advertising going live. I mean, that's the best. Like as a business owner and as a salesperson who promises something, to have it deliver like that, it's just the best feeling ever.
Yeah, no, it's great. It really, we just launched one this morning actually, and we're just checking. The first leads are already in. So
Max, he's got some leads already.
Yeah, he does. Leads are in. So he's happy. He's a smaller customer, but more than happy to see.
So let's talk about who we built Copilot for. Because if you're watching this, right, you're a flight school owner, and you're probably pretty frustrated. You've got blank spots on the schedule, you know you can grow, but the marketing you've tried isn't working, and you post on Facebook and you get crickets, right? Or you book a discovery flight and the person doesn't show up. That's the worst thing. You got a plane on the ground and an instructor on the ground, and the weather's perfect and you got no revenue. It kills you. So that's probably who we're talking to, right? Is those flight school owners who are trying marketing, who are spending some money, but they're frustrated because it's not working, right?
Yeah, you might have tried Google Ads or SEO and had varying results. Most of the time, a lot of those companies will focus on vanity metrics. So we got you 10,000 impressions and 40 likes or whatever it is. But
and how much money? How much money did you make?
We didn't get any money, but just keep paying us every month. And if you've boosted posts, give us a call right now. Stop doing that.
Stop boosting posts.
Stop boosting posts.
It's really good for Meta. It's really good for their business model. It makes them a lot of money, but it doesn't make you any money. Because how many bookings do you get off a boosted post, right? Yeah. You might get 1 or 2 if you're very, very lucky. The reason why we did this whole thing is because we're results based, right? Dollars in the bank is what counts, and so we're all about solving that problem by getting a better return on the advertising spend, essentially.
Yeah, and just a lot of it is automation, a lot of it is conversational AI, and it's all bespoke and designed for every client. And it follows a system that we've tried and tested over the last 2 years, and built this collaboration of not just a company that runs ads for you and hands you a list of leads or CSV file and says, oh, here you go, they're a month old, see if you can get any students from it.
So one of the bigger pain points we see flight schools experience, and the reason we built this whole thing, is because we're always out flying, right? We're not there to answer phone calls, and we're not there to answer emails and stuff like that. And if you did answer every email, you would be totally distracted from the student who's sitting in the left-hand seat. So you just can't get to the leads, and you can't follow up with the leads in a timely enough fashion for it to make a difference. Like the stats that are coming out now, you have to get to a lead within 5 minutes.
Yep.
We just can't do that as a flight school owner.
Ideally 60 seconds.
Ideally 60 seconds, right? Call somebody within a minute. So there's some stuff we've got. We can talk about that, some solutions to that later. But like we have to get back to them much, much faster. And we have to follow up with them like 10 or 12 times. I mean, how many times do you follow up with students now? 1 email, maybe 2 phone calls.
Yep.
We're going to follow up with them a dozen times. So yeah, it's a very time-consuming, frustrating process to onboard new students who have just shown intent, have just shown interest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found myself sitting at the desk when I was a flight school owner, just answering the same questions.
Same questions
day
over
after
and over.
day after day, over and over.
Yeah. Or a common practice that I come across is that flight schools will be getting some leads through, whether it's website contact form. Maybe they are running some ads, but they haven't got the lead nurturing in the back end of it. And a lead will sit there for 36, 72 hours, a week, sometimes even a month, and the lead's gone. So you've spent your money to acquire a lead of someone who's interested, but because there's no back-end system, you're just scrambling to find out who is a solid lead, who's ready to go now. And that's the problem that we solve, not just the front end, but the back end.
And the research is coming out now that people will often buy from the first business to respond. So when they're researching stuff, they will go out there and they will research flight schools. They'll Google flight schools in my area and they'll go new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab. They'll have 5 tabs open and they'll go one to the next, to the next, to the next, putting an inquiry in. And the first one to call them, SMS them, email them is the one that gets the booking. Like that's unfair, but it's very fair because we can actually help with that.
Yeah, and if you use ads on Facebook or Instagram, they're not Googling 5 flight schools, they're just inquiring with you. And you're responding straight away. So you're initially already the only player in the game. And if you talk to them correctly and build that conversation, then it's about a 900% return on even just responding to a lead within the first minute.
And here's the trick, nobody's doing this, right? Nobody's doing advertising online.
Yep.
No flight schools are doing advertising online at the moment. ATP is, and all the big guys are. They've got established names, but small local flight schools aren't doing this advertising.
Yeah.
So you can be, you've got a blue ocean, you can go for it.
You can be the early players in the game of incorporating automation and AI, and the early players always have the biggest ROI because this
100%.
AI and conversations and automation will be common practice in every business, and businesses that don't have it will not be able to compete. So if you don't have it now, now's the time.
So with something like Copilot, it looks very, very different from when you go out flying and you miss 5 phone calls, right? When you go out flying and you go out on a long nav, maybe you have 2 navs back to back, right? You've done 6 hours of flying. You get back and you pull out your phone after you've done the debrief with the student. You go, oh, look at that. I've got 3 new Discovery flights booked. Or I've sold 3 first solo packages, 15 hours of flying, paid for, cash is in the bank account already. That's a very different situation than looking at 3 missed phone calls and 10 emails and 4 SMSs, all asking questions that you've answered before. It's a very, very cool place to be where you've just got dollars rolling into the bank account. And then it's up to you to focus on what you do best, which is fulfilling the customer's desires, getting the result, and taking them out flying. Like it's an ideal situation.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
It's fun. So what we're bringing to flight schools, I think it's important to state exactly what it is, right? What the product is. So we've got 3 things that we do really, really, really well. We do targeted advertising that hits your avatar, it hits your ideal customer with exactly what they want at the right time. We've got lead nurturing, which is something that flight schools typically do a very bad job of. They get 1 lead and they do 1 contact and that's it. So it's automated lead nurturing using AI and automations and a bunch of really cool stuff in the background to retarget those customers who were interested. And the third thing is Customers walking through the doors who have intent, who have purchased something, so they've got skin in the game and they want to go flying.
Yep.
So they're much more likely to show up, and you're selling your product at a higher margin, and you're selling it at a higher hourly rate. So the profit's better, so you're making more money, and the customer's more invested. So that's the three: targeted advertising, lead nurturing, and then customers that show up.
That's right. And the difference is because we're both involved heavily in the industry, that every stage of the marketing system is bespoke to flight schools and is bespoke to your ideal customer. So that's the main difference between using a cookie cutter marketing agency that uses a funnel that they use to get a dentist some fillings for a dentist or something, or some fitness funnel where someone's trying to get big biceps.
28-day weight loss challenge, and then they just put it into aviation. That's what a lot of marketing agencies do. They just take their product. And we only do flight schools. So we have built discovery flight campaigns. We've built solo flight campaigns, which is a collection of things that would be really useful for somebody to get to first solo. And by the way, you sell it as a package and you make shitloads more money. And we've done instrument rating campaigns. We've done multi-engine campaigns. We've done instructor campaigns. Like, there's a ton of stuff that we've done. I've seen also very effectively, we didn't do this, I can't take the credit for it, but the package to take somebody from a commercial to an ATP ME. Like, that's an awesome package. And I actually did that. So I've got my ATP ME and SE. But I paid $7,500 for the privilege. And I did 7 hours of flying, which means I paid about $1,000 an hour.
You paid a lot more per hour than you usually would.
I don't care. I got the result, right?
But because it was a package, you were happy to buy it.
Anyway, we're giving it away, but that's
that's all gold.
Package pricing, right? That's absolute gold. So yeah, we're not some fitness funnel guys who've just pivoted into aviation. We live, eat, and breathe the industry.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this, because flight schools have been doing a bad job of marketing, and we want to save them from that and help them do a good job and make money.
Exactly.
Because we're in a growing market. We're in a great market. We've got a pilot shortage. There's heaps of people who want to become pilots. Airline pilots are getting paid great salaries. Let's take advantage of that and help build the industry.
And the great thing about just working with flight schools is that what it cost you as the flight school owner compared to the value that we're able to leverage, there's a massive discrepancy there. So we can keep that price reasonable for you, but you just see a tremendous upside.
Yeah, and we want that tremendous upside, right? We want you to make more money, and we make a little bit of money as well. It's a partnership.
It's a perfect business model. Yeah. Put more value out there and we make money on the back end, but you make 10 times more than us.
That's what it's all about. Most flight schools I see, Tom, I don't know if you've had this experience, but I certainly have, talking to customers, they think they need more leads, right? Everybody thinks they need more leads, but it's not actually a leads problem, it's a lack of follow-up problem. It's a student journey problem, right? Once a person goes into their system, they show intent, they become a lead, and you don't follow up, or you only make one contact request with them. It's not actually a lack of leads problem, it's a follow-up problem, right? So it's a fairly simple problem to solve. If we follow up with somebody 15 times, we've got an 80% higher likelihood of actually getting them as a student. Yeah. And if they're no longer interested, that's cool. They can unsubscribe, right?
If they say no, you follow up until they say no. You follow up until they give you an answer. Yeah. Yes or no.
Yeah. And it's never a no, it's just a not yet, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we find that even through the automations, we might have a customer that's been quiet for 6 months. There's a lead you got 6 months ago, and it's trickled into a monthly text message that follows up. And in 6 months, they go, thanks so much for reaching out every month. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. You're just keeping yourself top of mind.
But to try and do that manually, no chance. It's all about getting a student on the front end, but then also nurturing the lead once you have it. And even when they come in and they start their flight training, when are they dropping off? Like, what's your average investment per student once they're a customer of yours? So if we can increase the volume of students on the front end coming in, and then increase the lifetime value of every student once they're inside your flight school, the combination of both those types of marketing are just worth their weight in gold.
And that's what every other business is doing very well, right? The customer acquisition cost of selling somebody the next thing is zero. You don't have to find a new customer. So if you can upsell somebody into, let's just say they do a private with you, if you can just make it an automatic transition from private into instrument, it makes a ton of sense, right? And you've just got another $8,000 rating out of them.
You've already paid for the lead. You've paid to attract the customer.
Yeah, so then how do you That's a really good point, right? How do we do that? How do we upsell the customer automatically?
Yeah. So what we've built, our second stage of what we offer instead of just front-end marketing, is a community for flight schools, an online community that's an app for every student that comes through the door. You have an option for them to sign up for a free community and then sell courses, upsell packages, anything that you want to upload inside that community. And it's a place that instructors and students can discuss, any part of their flight training back and forth, push notifications to your whole flight school. As soon as you type something in the app, you can say, hey, we've got a barbecue, a hangar at barbecue on Friday at 3:00. And the whole flight school knows about it instantly. And it's a notification on their phone. So that's a really powerful feature of what we're building for flight schools now, on top of all of the front end marketing.
And that's huge for engagement, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the problems that I see flight school owners have all the time, is communicating with everybody, or their entire student base all at once.
Yep.
You can do email, you can do SMS, that's about it that
Yep.
they've got at the moment. And yeah, sure, you can create a community. Like I spoke to a flight school owner the other day who has a community on WhatsApp, which is great. You can have a community on WhatsApp, or you can have a Facebook page or a Facebook group. What we see though is, if you don't own the platform that those communities are on,
Yep.
they can be taken away like that. Like there's a big marketing group that we're both a part of that just got shut down. Just without warning, just got completely shut down, never to return. So if you don't own the platform that's on, you run the risk of that being shut down, which just cuts you off at the knees with your ability to talk to students, and to have students talk to other students, and have instructors talk to each other. Like the students in the community, we see them doing all sorts of things. Like they're selling books to each other, and selling headsets to each other, and helping each other out. The best one is time building. You've got 2 time builders.
Yep.
In the app, they can get together and they can say, hey, who wants to do some time building? And you have a list of 6 people who respond. And then they get together and they actually go and rent your airplanes because they want to build their time, and they can share the time, right? It's probably been the single most powerful feature I've seen us roll out since day one of when I signed up 2 years ago.
Yeah, I wish we had it when we signed you up.
I know, right?
Everything grows. Yeah, no, I think the communities are just they're so powerful in so many different ways. Being able to combine the flight school in an online community and direct them to courses that you want them to purchase inside the app. Even things like the everyday flight training process. You can have, this flight requires this, go and study this before you meet with your instructor. All of the little things that you want your students to be prepared on before every single flight lesson, it's all in the app, it's in the community. So
and it's like your branded app on the page, right? It's like, I talked to Ken about it, like Randon Aviation, it's his app on their phone, which is... It's pretty cool.
So imagine a new student's come in, you've done a first flight, a discovery flight, or you've signed them up for a PPL. Your next step is say, oh, and by the way, download our app. And the student goes, what? What do you mean? You got your own app? Yeah, we got our own app. So it's your logo on the App Store, whether it's Google Play or iPhone, and it's your branding. And then they open it up, they join the community, and they just see everyone communicating in there. They see everything they need for their whole flight training journey. And that just stays with them. So
and immediate upsell, right? You can have an instrument training course in there. You can have a PPL training course. You can have your CFI training course, and they can purchase that right there. And we think of it, or tend to talk to business owners like it's a head start. If they know that they're going to do instrument after they do PPL, they should buy that course and start coming up to speed with instrument concepts, right? What's an approach? What's a star? What's a SID? What are the different routes? All that sort of stuff that they should be thinking about, and then you can get them to have a head start on it. And they're probably still going to go. Well, they're still going to roll in a ground school, right?
Yeah.
They're still going to do an instrument ground school, but they've got a head start. They've got a framework on which to hang all the knowledge that they learned in the instrument rating. So it's almost an automatic purchase for it.
Yeah.
And pilots want to spend money on stuff.
Pilot stuff. Give me all the books.
Right.
That's the next question, isn't it? Where do I buy? What do I need for PPL? Go into the community, see there's a package we put together.
PPL package.
Everything for PPL. But while you're there, there's a discount if you buy everything up to CPL.
onboarded a
Just
student
sell
the other
every
day.
book, then a headset, whatever you want to put in your packages, you can sell inside that community.
I onboarded a student the other day, and he goes and buys himself a kneeboard, and he bought himself a logbook, which was the wrong logbook, but he didn't care. He bought himself a headset. He bought literally everything you can find on Amazon for a pilot. So he's got everything. So
he spent $1,000 not with you.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Oh man, we'll put this thing in the app, right?
So we're based in Australia, but I guess a big question is why we pushing so hard to get customers and clients in the US at the moment. It's mainly because of the competition between flight schools, and obviously the industry is huge in the US. They provide so much of the flight training, not just nationally within the US, but it's a global industry where a lot of international students come in, and the competition between flight schools is so fierce that you can see a huge upside for our customers when you introduce this system and outperform any of your competitors in your local market.
And there's a race to zero with flight schools, a race to the bottom, a race to zero margin, where if you're starting up a new flight school, you look at all the other flight schools around. I know because I did this. I fell victim to it before I knew the right way. You go around and you look at all the other flight schools in the area, and you go, okay, he's 350, he's 250, he's 225. All right, so I should probably be 210, right? And what you've done is just cut yourself out of margin. You just deliberately cut your margins down. And there's so many strategies where you can take yourself from $300 now to $700 now. There's a ton of cool things we can do, and we want to help business owners thrive, not just survive in the marketplace. It's really important because, man, aviation's a tough industry. We don't need to make it tougher by making our rates and our margins super razor thin.
Because margins are pretty thin in most transport businesses, but flight schools specifically aren't known for huge margins.
Yeah, people, airplanes, and weather, right? 3 variables. If any of those 3 don't go perfectly, you're fucked.
Yeah, that's right.
You lose a whole day.
Yeah. The idea is that if we can leverage the systems to increase the revenue that comes in, you could have 2 identical flight schools offering exactly the same products, but if your average customer at this one spends $20,000 and your average customer at this one spends $10,000, this one has all of the capital, this one doesn't. Then you can distribute your money into developing your flight school further.
And $10,000 spread over 12 months, or $10,000 in larger chunks earlier. Yeah, let's work on
1
that.
month.
In 1 month. Exactly.
Buy a package up front. Let's
That's right.
go.
Package pricing, it's the way.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're obviously based in Australia, right? So there's a time zone challenge. But we spend a lot of time in the US. So we're always heading to the US. We regularly go on US tours to meet all of our customers and meet anybody who's interested in signing up as well. Sometimes we grab a plane. That's what we're hoping to do this next trip, is grab a plane and just go airport to airport and meet all of our customers. That would be really cool.
We've been offered a few. I think we put the word out that we're coming back again, and the hospitality.
Ken goes the other day. He goes,
which plane would you like?
Ken goes, no, it was Tim. That's right. Tim goes, do you want to just? I'll give you my Grumman cheater, and you can just go and fly around. I was like, yeah. And then Ken goes, oh, you coming to the States? Oh, I'll give you the citation.
There we go.
Okay.
So basically, it's whoever can bid the highest and the coolest aircraft.
We're
coming.
And Tom's got a YouTube channel. I've got a YouTube channel as well. I do walkarounds of aircraft. So if there's cool aircraft around, I love doing walkarounds on them. So that's another reason why I love getting into the States. And I lived there for 5 years. My kids grew up there. Like, they were 6 months and 18 months when we moved to the States. And we moved back and they were like 7 and 9. So they grew up a chunk of their time in the States. And we loved it. But COVID happened,
Yeah. And I think the next one we're going to try and film, create a series, go and see all of our customers and basically just promote the people we're working with behind the scenes, on location, the aircraft they have, and just grow the flight school and general aviation community through some content.
By the time they're watching this, that series will be out, right?
Yeah. When are we flying to the States tomorrow?
Time travel.
I just got to call my wife.
Nice.
So yeah, Michael, basically you're in this unique scenario where you were a customer, you sold your flight school, you went our separate ways for a few months and then reconnected, and now you're a co-founder. From a flight school owner's perspective, in the market right now, what would be the steps you'd take knowing the services that we're offering?
There's so many good things that I would do, right? Just even away from marketing, we'll come back to marketing in a second, but if I was going to start again, I would have 5 Rotax powered aircraft, because you're burning 4 gallons per hour, right?
Yeah.
And maybe I'd have 2 or 3 of those Diamond TDI.
I think that comment might upset a few people.
Oh, yeah, but hey, why do we have 172s are great, but they burn, like, what are we burning, 9 gallons an hour, 10 gallons an hour?
It's like owning a V8 car over a 1.6 litre buzz box. Everyone just loves the sound and to burn some oil.
I like the margins on the 1.6 litre buzz box.
Yeah,
so
we're talking business.
I'd have a bunch of those, right? From a perspective of a business owner, if I was starting up from scratch, I'd have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 of those. I'd have a couple of Diamond turbo diesel with a Theolit engines in them, because they're the same 4 or 5 gallons per hour.
Yeah.
And that would be my training fleet. I would lease all the aircraft instead of buying the aircraft.
Just release capital.
Mistake. Release all that capital, right? And just lease the aircraft. You're going to make your minimums because you're going to have your marketing sorted, right?
Yep.
So I'd have all of my operations streamlined. In that, I would use software from point of contact, as in Copilot, all the way through to signing up, and then all the way through the student journey, the communities feature. And then I would make sure we had some compliance software as well to manage all the maintenance and operations and student records.
Yep.
So some compliance software and a really good piece of scheduling software. And they've all got to be integrated together.
Yep.
Right? So student details have to pass between your onboarding, your marketing engine, and your CRM. They have to pass between your CRM and your scheduling software. Right? Student details got to pass back and forth. So that's important. And then what I would do from there is make sure that there's SOPs around everything that happens. There's SOPs around discovery flights, as in what the instructor should say, how they should approach the aircraft, what they should talk to the customer about, what the pre-flight brief looks like.
Yep.
And then a standardized series of briefs about what we do before the flight, what we do after the flight, and some SOPs for new customers, for instrument customers, for CFI customers, so on and so forth. I think that would be a really great foundation to set a business up on, as well as some of the basics, right? Have a really good Facebook, a really good Instagram, and a really good website. But don't overthink it. Just, there's 2,000 flight schools in the US.
Yep.
Visit 15 and grab all the bits you like from their website and give it to your developer and say, build this. Super easy, don't overthink it.
Yep.
And then same thing with Facebook posts and Instagram posts. Search up flight schools, find the ones you like best, the ones that respond and the ones that work well in the marketplace. And just copy their shit. Like it's okay to copy each other. That would be what I do as a flight school owner now, and I'm very tempted to go and start another flight school. having just talked about that.
And I think content too. A lot of people overthink content. We're starting to ramp ours up, and we're trying to keep it organic, and that's all you need to do. You just need to show up, not only for external content for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube if you're up for it, but internal SOPs like Michael mentioned. If you have, it's called the camcorder method, that if you have an idea or you have a process that you're continually frustrated with, just have a camera that's on a tripod all the time, sit down in your office and explain it to your staff to the camera, and then house it so that staff can refer back to that issue, and you're explaining exactly how it needs to be done. You record it once, and instead of having to tell people 100 times, you can say, watch the video.
Yeah, there's a heap of value.
Staff training.
Just with that, staff training, that's awesome.
So maybe that's something we can help with in the future.
Yeah, and don't overthink it, just be real. Like, if you're going to do a video, just ums and ahs and a little bit of swearing here and there is okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's just you coming across as you, right? So don't overthink that. You don't have to be super polished and professional, just be real.
Yeah. I think it resonates more with people anyway.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we had one customer who was extremely hesitant about our system, the promises we were making. He thought they were kind of pie in the sky, too far to reach. And I'm really thankful that he basically said to me up front, I don't know if this is going to work. All the stuff you're saying sounds amazing in theory, but he said, I'm just gambling my money with you. So he paid his deposit, and I'm thankful that he did, because now he's still with us and extremely happy with the results. And that's the type of reaction that I just love, offering our services to flight school, getting the results. We've got a few guarantees that kind of negate that now.
It's risk reversal, right?
Risk reversal. There's not a lot of risk to even sign up. So, cool story.
It is. One of the cooler stories I've got when we were using the Copilot system, and that really brought it home to me, the power of marketing, was I had this guy show up for a discovery flight. He booked online, super sketchy, like just his email was like GHXGK 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9
The ones you go, oh, that's spam.
It looked like a spam. It totally looked like a spam. This guy Gerald. So he rolls up for the flight. Didn't respond to any of the text messages, right? Which is a red flag.
Yep.
You think a guy like that is, or maybe not even a person, right? They just don't respond. But they paid for the discovery flight. They booked it about a week later, and this guy showed up for the flight, and he looked like a hobo, really. Turned up in track pants, and like his shirt had holes in it and stuff like that. He had a big beard and big hair, and I was like, okay, cool. I'd made it a policy of treating everybody the same, no matter what they look like, no matter how they act, no matter how they are.
Yeah.
Always treat everybody the same on a discovery flight, because you just never know when they're going to turn in.
Well, you knew you hadn't stolen someone's credit card at this point and used it.
Right,
so you ticked that first box.
The fraud, there could be no fraud there. So he turned up for his flight, super quiet, didn't say boo to a goose, did not say a word. Talked to him with our SOP, hey, this is Gerald, this is what we're going to do today. And, and he said, okay, you can call me Jerry. I was like, sweet, we've broken the ice. Took him for a flight in the plane. I take him out and I show him around the airplane. What's this? Oh, that's the aileron. What's this? That's the elevator. What's that? That's the landing gear. What's this? Oh, that's the propeller. So I knew he knew a little bit about flying. I was like, okay. So got him in the flight, got him in the airplane, took him for a flight. It was okay, like he's just an average student, right? He sort of knew that you turn this and the airplane banks, and he pushed and pulled a bit hard, and up and down and stuff. I was like, Jerry, you've got the hang of how this works. Like, are you going to learn to fly? He's like, maybe. That was all I could get out of him.
That was it.
So we landed, and I shook hands with him. I was like, thanks, man, that was great. Do you want to book another lesson? And he's like, no.
And then left.
And he left. He's gone. I was like, okay, I'm never going to see him again. That's it.
Disappears into the night.
He's gone, right? Okay, there was a discovery flight. We had fun, and I got some hours in my logbook, and we got some money out of it, and we didn't lose any money, and great. But because I treat every flight the same, I had him in a follow-up sequence. He was in a follow-up sequence, didn't hear from him for 3 months. Comes back, all right? Jerry walks in the front door, didn't book, didn't send a text, didn't send an email, didn't respond to anything. Walks in the front door. Hi, Michael, I'm back. I was like, Jerry, good to see you again, mate. How are you? Loved that discovery flight that we did. And he goes, I've done my medical. I've done my PPL exam. How the hell he studied that and did it by him. So he did his written. He'd done his ASIC, which is a security identification card we have to have.
Yeah.
He's done everything. And then he's like, I'm ready to learn to fly now. And I said, Jerry, let's do it. He's like, when do you want to start? He's like, right now.
Right now.
What?
Have you
and he
got?
Goes, yeah, I've taken 4 weeks off work and I want to learn to fly.
Every day.
Every day. So I worked with him every day for 4 weeks. He had to have a couple of days off because it was winter.
Yeah.
But every day for 4 weeks, and the guy got his PPL. And you know what? He's come back and he's going to get instrument.
Yeah.
So you just never.
And you never heard from him between PPL and instrument. I'm back.
I haven't had him come back for instrument yet, but he did his PPL, got his PPL, did the test in the 4 weeks. Just blew me away. So you never can tell when you get a discovery flight booking or a first solo package booking, it's
and that's where those
pretty
automated follow-ups come in, where you think it's gone and dust in the wind, and that automated monthly follow-up.
Yep, just keeps them accountable, and all of a sudden they show up with everything they need in hand. Yeah, there's a ton of things that people know they should be doing but aren't actually doing. Right? Everyone knows that they should put photos of their first solos on Instagram. Well, don't put photos of your first solos. Go next level, put videos. So the best one I've ever seen was Max, awesome CFI he's out of Long Beach, California. He takes a video. He's like, hey, look at this. Andrew's just got back from his first solo. And he walks up to the plane as he shuts it down, opens the door and says, Andrew, how was that? And Andrew comes, that was amazing. That plane climbed like a rocket with you not in there.
Yeah. The standard reaction, right? And if you capture that emotion in that moment,
it's a huge milestone.
Weight in gold. Yeah.
So that's gold. Videos of first solos is really important. Videos of airplanes doing things. So the best ROI I've seen is getting a videographer out for a day. One day, videographers aren't that expensive, right? Get them out for a day.
You guys.
With
got a couple
present
here.
company. These guys are great. So get them out for a day and get some what we call B-roll in the industry, right? B-roll's just videos of airplanes doing cool things. So literally elevators going up and down, trim tabs, ailerons doing the differential, a shot along the wing of the two differential ailerons, flaps coming down. If you can get it, put an aircraft up on jacks and get the gear swing. People love the gear swing. Get the photographer or the videographer, if you've got an STC for an external GoPro, put an external GoPro and get the gear folding up. That's gold. Those sorts of shots are just fantastic, and you can use them for B-roll on your website, so like background videos on your website. You can use them for advertising. You can use them for any sorts of shots that need to be dynamic. So, for example, we take owners, every flight school owner has a library of videos. If they don't, they should. We take all that stuff and we cut it up into a really nice ad, and that's how we get the returns that we do from the Copilot stuff, is a video ad. So super, super powerful. The biggest ROI you've got on marketing is engaging Copilot. Number 2 is getting video getting
content.
shots, getting video content. Yep. Really, really important.
And just being comfortable doing it. It's everyone who is excelling in business these days, there is a massive component of video. Regardless of where you're using it, it's so many places that you can leverage video. So that's probably something that you need to think about if you're not doing it. Yeah,
and just look around. There's 55 flight schools in your area doing video marketing and doing it well. Just find one that you really like and just copy them. Don't overthink it. Like it can be raw, it can be uncut, it can be unfiltered. Just do it and just come across as yourself, and a little bit of swearing if you swear, a little bit of ums and ahs is totally okay. It's important because it shows you are real. You're a real person, right? You're not a robot talking in front of a screen, although that's good too.
Yeah, just be real on your reels. You like that one?
You thought of that by yourself, didn't you?
I did, all by myself.
The time I felt the most exposed as a customer or with marketing, right? We typically hadn't done a lot of marketing as command flight training. We did a little bit. We did some what they call red balloon flights, which is similar to a Groupon. We'd done a little bit of that. We had done some Google marketing with Google My Business, and none of it had worked, right? Like you'd think it would, like you want it to work. The place I felt the most exposed was when I had the Copilot contract in my hand, right? And I was sitting there with my 2 other business partners. I was saying there was like $10,000 in the bank account. Yeah. And I was saying, right, I'm going to spend $7,000 on marketing services of our last $10,000. And to their credit, they looked at me. They're both very wealthy.
Kahunas on him, this guy.
Both very wealthy guys, and they said, "Yeah, we can see that we need to do some marketing, and we'll back you if you want to spend this money." And I was like, "Okay." So I signed up, and the lag time was like 48 hours between signing that contract and talking to Tom for the first time to get our ads live. Right, that was when I felt the most exposed. I'd spent $7,000, and I didn't know if this thing was going to work.
Yeah,
and thank God I held on, because we were within 6 months we were 130 grand in revenue up, and that was the point where I was able to sell the business, because we had made that 130 grand and we had customers coming out the wazoo and all of our planes were busy, and it was just a great time. So that was the time I felt most exposed, and my ass was on the line to make this work. So it was I don't know whether I've told you that story before. It was hard.
I haven't heard that actually. That's brand new.
Yeah,
but I imagine there's flight school owners making the same decisions, but for things that don't work. Like, how many times are they throwing money at the wall with things that just don't get that response either?
All the time.
And that's why I think even in our structure, we've made it in a way that if it doesn't work, we understand that flight school owners are in those scenarios sometimes. So we offer, money back guarantees and running things for free until it does. We've never had to use those guarantees because it does work, but they're there just in case. So it's a bit of peace of mind.
Yeah, you give you peace of mind for when you sign up. I don't think we offered the guarantee when I signed up.
No.
I was customer number 1, right?
Yeah.
There's no risk reversal. It was going to happen. But now we're in a situation where we've done enough that we can offer a risk reversal. If it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, we'll give you your money back.
Yep.
But it does. It works every time, and we work for free till it works. So that's the beauty of being in the position we are, where we can offer that guarantee.
Yeah, our passion alone will make it work.
Damn right.
100%.
So that's everything we wanted to say in this first video. We're going to be putting out a series of these videos, right? All about deep dives into flight school operations, the best practices that I can find in the industry, that we can find in the industry when we're talking to business owners. I got a really good one with, I don't think I told you about this, Christian. He's doing a fantastic job of a couple of really specific things in flight school operations. So
Yep.
I'm going to have him on the channel and we'll talk about best practices. I want to just showcase the best practices for customers and non-customers, what they're doing that's world beating, that's the best in the industry, because I think that's super, super valuable for us to share with flight school owners, because it's really easy to get in your own bubble and think, oh, this is the way we do things because we've always done it this way. But if you can break out and find something that helps you think differently. That's what we're all about on this channel, is deep dives into flight school operations, best practices.
So it's not just about us spruiking all of our shit.
Yeah. That's
saying, hey, come and pay us. But if you want to pay us, leave a comment.
That's right. Comment Copilot down below. Yeah, if you're interested, if you want to book a demo, just comment Copilot and we'll reach out to you in an unspammy way. We'll just let you know. We'll probably put you in a follow-up sequence, right? A nurture sequence where if you're interested,
practice what you preach.
Exactly. So that's what this channel's all about, is helping out flight school owners. And showcasing some of the cool stuff that we're doing in terms of best practices in the industry. So we're excited about it.
And looking forward to it. We'll eventually have our US tour on this channel as well. This channel will be purely focused on offering value to flight schools. So anything that you can think of, let us know in the comments as well. Anything you'd like to hear from us about a certain subject. We've got a lot of connections with aircraft leasing and other items or companies that can help flight schools. So let us know and we'll see if we can get people on the channel.
So if you like what you've seen so far and you think this is going to be valuable for you, reach out to us. We would love to talk to you. Co-Pilot Software. It's Co-Pilot Software. The link's in the description. Just comment Copilot down below and we'll reach out and say hi. We will lead nurture you until you're ready to make a purchase. We're going to do heaps more of these videos, so it's all about best practices in flight schools.
And that's a wrap. So thank you for watching. Michael, thank you for being a co-founder and coming on the journey with me. Make sure you subscribe, comment anything below that you'd like to hear from us, and we will see you in the next video.